Okay, good, 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 good.
You too.
Thank you, Michael, for all the work you've been doing. That was nice to run those tests and to see what's going on. I don't know how to interpret the result
Neither
yet,
do I.
but
Neither do I.
okay. So, but at
It's
least, yeah, go ahead.
it's difficult to figure out what's going on. It I I'm hoping that at some point it means something.
Okay, but we know that at least the amount of satellites and the signal to noise relation. I mean, that's the
Right.
second number, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can start to collect that at least. And this, what should we do? Should we make a common place where we store those files, or what do you suggest?
I'm not sure what it means yet. I'm just I think for each. Unfortunately, what I think it means is that you can't, I was thinking, okay, maybe it would be great if you didn't need to use GLONASS. Maybe you can't trust the, you know, what Russia might do in terms of spoofing. Um, so leave that out. Actually, that turns out that that's what the uBlock's um, M10 modules do, is they just leave it out. TTF2DF and TTF3DF is time to first 2D fix, time to first 3D fix.
Okay, that makes sense now. Yeah. So I just make one big sheet where we can all share the data in.
Well, I wouldn't go, I don't think it's yet information worth recording. For example, it only takes a sample right at the very end of the step period. And how useful is that? I don't know. Um, I'm thinking of I should at least be taking snapshots of after it first starts up, after you get a 2D fix, after you get a 3D fix. Um, so I'm sorry, I'm still waking up.
Yeah, I noticed. No, we're the same. I just had a short nap, so I'm also waking up. But normally I'm just blank. I don't need time. It's just on and off for me.
For me, it's already afternoon, so I'm I'm working in the morning already. So, um,
Yeah, so I'm not sure what to make of it all. And then, I was wondering, for satellite coverage wise, is at a certain point as the satellites rotate, the ones that are not geo-fixed, whether you lose, whether there are better times for one GNSS system versus another. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's true. Yeah. Yeah, when I was looking at the satellites, I could just see them. Some were stationary, they didn't move at all. And other ones, they came in and come. They come in and they come out. I mean, that's
Right.
true.
So,
Mm.
so it needs some work. Need to figure it out.
Mm. And also we should, I think you recorded also the time. So we know which time, which place the satellites are certain.
Yeah, that's why I added the time in there too.
Yeah.
It's Greenwich Mean Time, not local time, so that we have a known. Well, you also have the location, but
Yes,
you don't know what time zone you're in.
that's true. Okay. And Yeah, so let's see. And I have this one running. I mean, I don't know if you saw that. Hold on a second. But let
That's the
me
new
just look
Drive
at
app.
that. Yeah, that's the new drive out. And the thing is, I don't know if you can hear it. Can you hear it? Hold on a second. Prr.
Those
Oh,
little
hold on.
ticks.
It's quite nice done. I was
Do hear it.
impressed.
Yeah, I do hear ticks. How does
Right.
it do it? Like, does it take like every second, like how many ticks there would have been, and just
Yes, and then randomize it. I think he did a nice trick on
yeah,
that.
something like
It,
that.
it looks like really random, but it's not. I mean, it comes in every 5 seconds, and it just does see how much it comes in, and then make a kind of
Yeah. I think
appreciation.
we also discussed a possibility to do that with the Zen, because we can't do a tick when the counts come in because the
True.
the speaker is not directly connected to the input, so
Mhm.
we'd have to do it by software, which is very difficult if there's a lot of ticks. But then we would do something like can do multiple ticks, like see how many ticks there were in the past second, and then just put that in the next second. So many ticks you have to do.
Something like that.
Then, but if it's still on the core, with the setup we have, the software we have, it's not amazing. So best would be to have a speaker directly on the hardware connected to the pulses as well.
Yeah, that's so. That takes additional soldering and other things, and that
Yeah.
I try to avoid. But it would be
What
nice if we can. Some people are asking for it because they have a Nano and they got the Zen and they were saying, "Oh, this one
I
doesn't
think
make click."
it is not a required piece of hardware, of course. Like you
True.
can decide like I would like a speaker, so I'll just put it on.
Mm.
So maybe it's an idea to add like a spot on the board where you could put a speaker,
Yeah, it's not only the speaker. So you need the speaker, you need a
a
cap, you
resistor.
need a resistor
Okay.
and a transistor, and you need
Yeah,
or four resistors. So it
yeah,
takes some
something like
things.
that. It, it it does make the board a bit more, I don't know, cluttered. But maybe as a separate option. I mean, it wouldn't go through the software, so it should maybe like an additional board you can just put on that has the
That's
resistors
true.
and the the buzzer, or yeah,
But
like a
my
module you
my
can plug on.
my preference will still be a software. If
Yeah, I have
something
messed
to make
around.
it.
I have messed around with that with the speaker on the cores, and they do work. And that M5 update, that's not just for button presses. That's also for audio.
Yeah, that's true. But
So if it's done periodically, like every 50 milliseconds or something like that, you
And
might be able to.
not even that. We can just take the how to say the 5 second pulse. I mean the count and then make some random noise on it.
Right.
And
yeah, but then I don't know, like some actions take longer. Like I was working on the log file upload again.
that's true.
No, that just freezes the system, and that would also freeze the buzzing sounds, for example. Like,
Yeah, that's
I would prefer a hardware solution, even if
yeah, I
it's
know.
like a module you can just plug on, like make like two like holes somewhere, and you can just like make a small board you can just solder on as well. And on the board there would be like the resistors and the buzzer, and that would then make sounds, something like that.
That would not be my option, but I can.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
people have to solder it, and that's why I'm just thinking so
But
simple. So
it's an option. If you
yeah,
want it, you
true.
can add it, and if you don't want it, well, a software solution I mean, we can do like a simple solution, perhaps.
We can just try, if it's possible, maybe just try it and see if it's
Yeah,
feasible, or if it does take too much power away, then we shouldn't do it. But my feeling is
yeah. I
it
mean,
should not be so hard.
we can do something simple and see if it sounds all right. Right, that's also a thing.
That's
It has
important.
to sound good.
It has to sound good, because this one sounds very, very nice. I mean, I was impressed. It's like a nano. I mean,
Yeah,
he did a good job on that.
yeah. I mean, on phone you always have like a better speaker, like maybe some good random
And
generation and
not
uh,
in this one.
a, a good
This one.
CPU to to
That's
process
true.
all the different threads that it might run in. I don't know.
Okay, so let's see.
There
Okay,
are some options for the core. We can explore them.
okay, and also on the software there is an how would I say that, real time mode, and then let's say an upload mode. So you can do or the SD card recording, and then when it stops, it uploads it, the file, or you can have real time. So it's like a Zen in real time mode. So every measurement is sent separately.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I think that was very nice done.
Then you don't have to run it in real-time mode and have a hotspot on your phone.
True,
It will
because
just go through
you
Bluetooth and then you're,
directly into, yeah,
yeah,
a little
that's
bit
cool.
simpler. One way simpler, other way not simpler.
You
But
do need an app and have it running,
yes, your phone
I
has to
guess,
run
but
all the time. Yeah, and when it crashes, your data is not there anymore.
uh, I mean, those are also
No.
features that can be
Oh,
created.
but then again, it's on the SD card, so that should be fine.
Hmm.
On the Zen.
Yes.
Okay, that was my exciting things. I had the GPS and the app. Not much other things for me to report. But and Jella has
Uh,
something, or
Not really.
not really? Okay.
No progress yet to share.
Hmm. And Michael, what other things or plans coming up?
Um, no, well, obviously I want to just see if I can make some sense out of this data. And yeah, right now I think, and unfortunately, I think it means longer scan times. Um, and I'm trying to, what I'm seeing is trying to reverse engineer, figure out what's going on inside of the module, which is a black box.
Mhm.
And this has been my way to do that, is to just constrain it. The one th Oh, by the way, one thing I found out was the first few seconds that it goes to a step, it still has um, the navsat and the nav PVT data from the previous step. Even though you did a cold start, that data is still considered fresh. So I'm going to pause the unit to make sure that stuff goes stale before it starts the next step. So the satellite count should be 0 when you switch.
Mhm.
Um, that's why it was making sense that it would, as soon as it switched steps, it saw satellites like immediately, and it wasn't
Mm.
that actually wasn't the case.
Mm.
Um,
I noticed that too today, because today I was checking and did a cold start, and suddenly there were already three in there directly after a cold start. I think that doesn't make
right.
sense.
Yeah, and I
That's
don't think
probably the
that's
same thing.
really happening. I'm
Hmm.
hoping, and if it is happening, then it's not really a cold start, and then we have to go back and look at the code. So the one breakthrough thing that happened during this to make this happen was that I can capture the entire state and set the entire state of the GNSS systems in one command.
Oh, that's good.
Otherwise, you have to figure out what the rules are inside of the unit on disabling and enabling GNSS. You can never have all disabled, and then there are certain combinations that are not allowed. And it's like, how do you do that? And that's something that the SparkFun library never did. They only allowed you to move one at a
One
time,
time.
and that would require reverse engineering what's allowed and what's not allowed. Like when I had that toggle menu,
Hmm.
you could toggle off
I
a
remember. Yeah.
satellite or a GNSS system, and I was just relying on the tool to tell you, well, that's allowed, that's not allowed. So.
Mhm.
So that was a big step, and now I've just tried to see if I can take advantage of that and get some more information out of these units.
Mhm. So basically, you can take the settings and then pull them all back in one command.
Yeah, you have
Oh,
to.
that's great. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you want to do it the least complicated way, yeah, you can send them all the settings all at once. So,
Oh, that's good. Oh, happy to
so I
hear
had
that.
to update the uBlocks, the teeny uBlocks Connect library,
Hmm.
um, but that
But
it's still compatible with what you have.
Okay.
It's just another an extended set of commands.
are those settings something we can hard code into the Zen as like a preset settings for like Americas, Europe, Africa, Asia?
Yes, that's
Mm.
so
Mm.
that was the other thought of why I put so much work into it
Yeah.
is that hey, you could store that in on the SD card and or be able to select it. It's like, okay, I want this configuration, and have it and save it and restore it.
That's very useful. Yeah. If
It,
we can
it
get
could
that.
be
On the SD
useful.
card as well, yeah. I was thinking like on the Zen itself, where we have on the satellite view the menu with the options, where
Hmm.
you can set like
Mm.
different sets already, like those are pre-programmed in the Zen. So a new user can just like try different settings, and you can just set like the whole settings configuration, send it to the GPS module. Is
Yeah.
Yeah,
that possible?
I think
yeah,
so. Yeah.
Okay.
That's nice. Yeah.
yes. That's available now to us.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't have it up here. Just see.
Is it like a text file or is it
Um, um, I was,
binary?
I was going to show you.
Hmm. Would be nice to enable those options in the satellite view because now the options are grayed out.
Mm.
That's a
Yeah, that would be
quick way
nice.
to add a new feature.
You already thought about it. So that's good.
Oh, um,
I mean, we did talk about it last year, so
Sure. I remember we talked about.
yeah, let me share my screen. Okay, screen sharing.
Green bottom in the green thing in the bottom.
Yeah, I got
Green
it.
icon.
You can see that.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that.
yep.
So there's a data structure that has all the possible settings for no matter what module you have. Some of these won't have any effect because they're not available on certain modules.
Mm.
But it's the first one here is GPS, and then it's satellite system, um, SBAS and its satellite system. You see my mouse?
Mm. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, we
yeah.
see your
Yeah.
mouse.
So GPS and its satellite, SBAS and its satellite, um, and then Galileo and its satellite, and then and on and on and on. And then
Mhm.
you get to BEIDOU, and then it has two satellites, and same thing with QZSS. So these are the so if I want so that I created these that sorry, hold on. The first one is for GPS only, Galileo only,
Mhm.
BDI, BID,
Oh,
B1,
okay.
B1C, and GLONASS. And then the other two that are run during the scan are factory reset. And then if your current setting is different than the factory default, then it will run that as a scan too. So you can have up to 5 scans. If it's 20 minutes a scan, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes. If the factory default and your current setting are identical, then it's just 2 hours.
All right, and then these are predefined settings then by you.
Yeah, by me. So
Yeah,
this is outside of the uBlocks
right.
Connect
Okay,
library, and you can use these. You can create your own strings of, preferred settings for North America, whatever.
right.
You can create your own string for what you want enabled and what you want disabled.
So all we need to do is have a few predefined. I think we have 4 currently in the satellite view. If you go to the menu, there's like set default for Americas, Europe, etc. And we just make some configuration set, like if you press on default, we will enable this and this satellites and disable the others. So that would work then.
It just in one command you enable and disable this and in one step too. It's not happening in multiple steps. You're sending that
Yeah.
entire, so that's what this is. This line right here, set GNSS config state to that the GPS element.
Corrected.
That does it, and then it does a cold start and starts the data transfer and starts the PVT, NavSat, and NavStat packets.
But
Okay.
if it's switches, so it has to go from a gold start, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
So we
so
have
cold start uses the GPS configuration then,
after that.
or
Yes.
No,
because
so I'm
you
saying,
set it.
yeah. So for starting the GPS, I set its configuration and then I do a cold start. So resetting the configuration also is somewhat of a reset, but I didn't trust it, so I just said, well, let's do a
Gold
second
start.
cold start if that's not what's happening.
Hmm.
But a cold start would then also reset the configuration. That
No,
is
that's a
that correct?
No,
factory
no, no,
reset. That's a
no,
factory
no.
reset.
No.
Oh, okay.
That's cold start, and so um, there's warm start, cold start, and factory reset. This is just
And
factory.
this one is like on line 127, SC GPS start.
That's the next two lines, 128 and 129. Yeah. Are where I
Yeah.
actually set the configuration and do a cold start.
Yeah, but this is then you always set it to GPS again. So if you use a
No,
different
and then the next
configuration,
step, it's Galileo. Oh, so once it finishes, then I write out the statistics and then I switch to Galileo and then I do a Galileo start.
okay. I see now. This is the calibration. Okay,
Mhm.
I get it.
This
I
is the
thought this was in the
calibration.
library, but this is a test bed.
That's
Yeah,
different.
this is how you use it. I was giving
Right.
it, trying to show an example of how it's used, not how it's
Yeah, yeah,
built
yeah.
inside.
My bad. I thought it was a
No,
library. Okay, I'm clear now. Sorry.
yeah. No, no problem.
All right. Okay, this is good.
I'm also measuring how long it takes to get to a 2D start, a 2D fix, and how long it takes to get a 3D fix.
Mm.
And it's different from the time to first fix command inside of the navstat packet. I don't understand. And that's, a part of this is trying to understand what data we're getting from these other packets. So,
Mhm.
so there.
Thanks for explaining.
Yeah.
Now, thanks for doing the work.
Yeah, it's not pretty, but it works now.
Mm.
And the last thing I discovered was that leftover, that data being left over
Mhm.
um, because that's not something we normally would do, is be switching GNSS systems while we're using them, while it's on and running.
I did it today.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to check if the satellite was an issue for my system.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So that's where I'm at.
Thank you. That's good.
And there's also a function in the library to retrieve the settings.
Yes. So, oh yeah, yeah. Oh.
Because that would also be good information to show on satellite screen. Like you could, because it's
What settings?
basically, what is it, five sets of satellites. So we can have like a list of 5 and show them in green or red if they're enabled or disabled.
Well, it's not just the satellites being enabled, disabled, also the GNSS. It's also the satellite group within that GNSS.
Yeah,
So
okay.
you can see where I start off, where I enter. I on line 74, I get the U-Box module type, and then I also get the GNSS
state.
config state.
Right.
Right, which is, so I save that as the current config state, and then I do a factory reset, and then I capture what that state is, and it's different for the different types of modules. So I wanted to do a factory reset to see that. So I've
Yeah.
saved where I want to restore to, and then I've also captured what the module's factory reset GNSS settings are, and then um, I do unfortunately a thorough test to see whether the current config state and the factory reset config state are the same. And then I'm off and running. And then I open up the SD card to make sure I can write to it, and then I'm off and running.
But by the way, the CSV file out is much nicer. It's very useful.
It's a much easier way to look at it. Yes, of course. I'd been working on that, and I missed the last meeting, and I meant to comment that, yes, I'm working on a CSV output.
Great.
Okay. Yeah, that works nice now. I mean, I tested it, and it's simple.
Yeah, you can pull it directly
Yeah.
into,
Into
like
anything.
LibreOffice and see it.
Mhm.
And then you could also start stacking them inside of a data sheet, and then be able to analyze across multiple ones.
Oh yeah, I will do that, and then I will make a spreadsheet we can share. So at least we can start something to collect
Right.
and see what's going on. Okay, great. I think that's it for today, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take a shower then. And
All right.
All right.
Very good.
yeah, good. Thank you
Yep,
for taking
thank
the
you.
time and explaining. Okay, bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.